to this quarterfinal between Vitality and H2k. Vitality coming in hot in game one to secure their first win before moving forward. Now, things change up a little bit. H2k now on the red side, gonna look to fire back on their own.
Yeah, no surprise, picking red side, taking it away from Vitality. It is also what a lot of teams consider the strongest side at the moment. So Vitality and H2k can change up the bans and the picks a bit, because last game, H2k tried to get down and dirty with Vitality in the early game. Said, you know what, we can pick some early snowballs.
We got the
well.
Morgana Jhin, we're gonna kill people, we're gonna shut it down, we're gonna
Sheriff
stop the
is not on,
Thresh.
yeah, Sheriff not on hyper carry. Smittyj is on a carry. You know, they can play around his side, but they got punished a lot, and they did not do themselves any favors in that game. Early game, they got shot down by Gilius, and then when they actually were supposed to stall around a Baron, they walk straight into Vitality, and a big fight happens, and everything just kind of went wrong from H2k when it came down to how to actually play in this early to mid game. Let's see for game 2. Azir banned again. For H2k really hates Azir. I'd much rather give Jiizuké Azir than a champion where he can actually be impactful in the early game. That's just me.
Interesting though, bans barely
Caitlyn left
changed.
open. So, Vitality's goal is to make sure Sheriff does not play Caitlyn or Xayah. Those are two of the best champions for him, and two of the champions where he can really carry.
So you got to take it away. Do not give Sheriff the opportunity to carry. As always, it is the name of the game. He has been the all-star performer for this team. Last time, H2k tried to rely on Smittyj. It did not quite work out for the team, even with the power of Camille in his hands. Have to see if H2k want to keep trying to put onus on top lane to carry, or if they're going to shift the attention as we get further in the draft.
Sion is here, available. Flex pick, super strong on red side to grab it early. Want to see what they want to play in terms of the bot lane. The Jhin last game was obviously further shut down by the fact there was a Talia and a Trundle constantly ganking the Jhin early game, but it's not the kind of champion where Sheriff can carry the late game team fights. Want to see if H2k want to go for early game again, trying to go toe-to-toe with Vitality. The Olaf pick, obviously, is one of the champions that can do that.
Another Olaf game coming in for Sjokz. Surprising to see Sejuani has kind of been his bread and butter, something that's helped the team out immensely.
Jhin again. Okay, so it is, once again, not the classic full scaling teamfight H2k. If Gilius wants to Trundle pick, he might have to grab it here, otherwise he could get banned in second phase by H2k. Also, when it comes to Jactroll, the Thresh is open. Like, he loves playing that. It works really well with the Caitlyn. Hook into trap. Like, it's hard to get out of it. Gilius just goes for the Sejuani this time.
Mixing it up. Not going to show his hand quite so quickly, but it looks like it could just be the Thresh to follow. Thresh, Caitlyn, very strong synergy.
Yeah, this cannot be more comfort. Like, it's simply not possible for Vitality to get any better picks than what we're seeing now for them as a team specifically, and what they've been playing and succeeding on during the split.
H2k now, considering just keeping their composition together from what we see in the last game, maybe in their minds, just a few execution errors, a bit of a sloppy early game, maybe they feel like they can continue to play this one.
I mean, it is a positive in a way that on Sejuani, it is a little bit harder to be as active as we saw the Trundle, which basically got 2 kills within 5 minutes. It's not something we see often from Sejuani specifically, so maybe there it slows down a little bit. The Talia pick is one that H2k needs to look at. Jiizuké plays it so well, and we get to see how teams wants to really snowball with that kind of mid laner. Vitality, it's their kind of bread and butter. It's what they are really good at. So I think you need to at least consider it. Luckily, they could just keep counter pick for Selfie, and if they see this Talia pick again, we look at a Kassadin coming in from Selfie to try and destroy it.
And Selfie, a very good Kassadin player if they can find the setup, but for now it will be the Sion banned away. Looks like Smittyj kind of saying, hey, maybe try to play a fighter here. I'm taking away some comfort picks in the Jax and the Sion. Top lane pool getting pinched quite heavily in the second phase.
And Vitality can put Cabochard on a tank again and just play bot side with Thresh and Caitlyn. They don't have to put Cabochard on a carry. They can easily play around mid and bot lane, like we saw in the last game, which was very successful for them. Shut down Sheriff in the early game. Don't make him a factor. Because Sheriff has not been like the strongest laner, he's just been a very good team fighter. Set him behind, and suddenly you get the advantage.
Interesting. Trundle going to be brought in here. Looks like it will be the Trundle support going into the bottom lane, unless they want to get real wild with that Olaf pick, as Camille has already been locked in for the top side of the map.
Now there is some good synergy between the Trundle and the Jhin that we also can talk a bit more about in-game. Of course, the Trundle ulti reducing some of the tank stats makes it a bit easier for Jhin to specifically actually hit and shoot a tank in the face. And wow, Finally, someone in Europe wants to blind pick Cassiopeia. It is such a strong pick, and it's so hard to counter pick it and actually shut it down in the early game. Really benefits from the AP item changes we saw as well. And as we talked about just before, we get that tank for Cabochard. It's all about mid and bot lane for Vitality. Leave Cabochard on an island.
Leave him alone. What is Selfie going to opt to go for here?
Normally likes Orianna a lot.
All right, it's going to be the Orianna lock-in. Synergizes nicely with the ball delivery system of Camille.
What's so interesting about the mid lane matchup, though, is the junglers can be so impactful here. If Gilius plays around Jiizuké early and gets an advantage over Orianna, Jiizuké can just take over mid completely. Orianna wins lanes by pushing. And that's hard to do if your jungler is not around. And Sjokz and Selfie have not really played around each other in the early game when we watched a lot of H2k games. Sjokz is actually not that active of an early jungler. Gilius, on the other hand, is very good at quickly ganking lanes. He doesn't spend a lot of time. He just moves in, quick gank, leaves. And he's doing it very effectively.
I mean, if you can get another gank off Snowball at Cassio, even more terrifying than a Taliyah. The potential to all-in at any moment if you connect on that Noxious Blast, burning all of your mana to Twin Fangs just to take someone from 100 to 0 real quick. So once again, Vitality have opened up the options to play around the mid lane. No longer can they find opportunities to play around top. Cabo taking up the Shen. Good early lane matchup to the Camille, but will be much more about which lane he can ult to set this team up for success.
Once again with H2k, it's not playing around Sheriff as a hyper carry. It is actually trying to get Smittyj going.
All right, well, as we head into game, let's send it over to Medic and hear from H2k's coach Veteran about the series.
Thank you very much, Drakos. I am joined by Veteran now. Draft changed a little bit there. You decided to flex the Trundle into support. What's the decision-making process behind those sort of moves?
Well, it's very much a comp that has a sort of similar win condition to before. We have a lot of side lane pressure later on in the game, and we felt that what we were just lacking in the first game was execution. The Trundle Jhin combo is actually, generally speaking, a really good combo anyway, and it's something that's turned up and works out well in scrims. So we thought that last game, it wasn't so much the split strategy that was bad, it was just the execution that was going wrong, and we figure that we can fix that this game.
Well, good luck in this game. We're going to go straight on into the action. It's on to Summoner's Rift for Game 2 of H2k versus Vitality.
Thank you very much, Medic. Here we are. Adjustments coming in for H2k. You see the draft doesn't change a ton, and as expected, coach comes on and says, look, it was not the draft, it was the execution that faltered, so they've changed up just a little bit here.
Classic coach move as well. I did my job, the draft was perfect. Blame the players instead. Obviously not what he said, but we have to agree the execution was definitely lacking. We talked about it coming into this game, being like, they didn't do themselves any favors, man. They made so many mistakes when it actually come to trying to stop a potential snowball from happening.
You died at level 2, Selfie. It was a rough start to the series.
That was not great. And then a little bit later, they tried to opt into a bunch of fights, which went heavily in Vitality's favor.
You have to remember, we have a lot of rookies on stage in this game. Of course, Vitality with a lot more best-of-5 experience outside of the EU LCS than the likes of Sheriff, or even Selfie in many circumstances.
Check summoner spells here from Sheriff. He's going Cleanse. Obviously no spellbook AD carry is long gone. So he will be sitting on that one all game here. And there's a lot of CC on Vitality's side, so in that case, it makes sense. Does mean there's no heal. Potential all-in makes this Jhin a little bit squishier than we normally see from them. And very early on, Minitroupax and Jactroll are like, we don't care about our jungler, we don't want to leash for him. Straight into the bot lane, start pushing, get early level 2 and take control of this lane.
Exactly what they're looking to do, and it's a bit difficult for H2k. They've got the Ignite on the Trundle as well, so no exhaust to shut down any fed carries on Vitality. It's all in on the early game to find an advantage here, to burn down some of these individual threats.
And Trundle support is always so unique in the way he's kind of playing, because when you try and trade against his AD carry, he's not going to try and hit the support who's jumping for the AD carry. He just puts the pillar up near the enemy AD carry and he walks to him. And he starts 1v1 in the AD carry. And he's tanky enough to do it and he has early damage. It actually makes it really difficult to kind of play against him. And it becomes hard to try and shut down the enemy AD carry when Trundle is just in your face all the time. But obviously, in the case of H2k's bottom lane, they have to surrender the early push. Gilius, once again, is an active man. He's warding. He's a good jungler. He's ganking.
Expecting a potential gank on the top side, is going to move in.
Oh, Jiizuké is coming as well.
Taunt does manage to land. Smittyj, can he make it out? 2 stacks there, flashing forward. One more auto. The stun is going to go in. Smittyj now in trouble. Red buff ticking. Aftershock. Is it going to proc onto him? Does not look like it. They're going to back off.
Oh, that was a close one here. Gilius once again looking for the early ganks. Smittyj gets out, bot lane.
Jactroll, hook goes in, has to sidestep over the trap. Ignite has been burned. Sheriff takes a lot in the exchange, but does have the pot to heal right back up. Doran's for an early safe start in the lane. Means he should be fine.
Sjokz might try something top lane now. No flash from Cabochard, but there's a good early ward being placed. Spotting the Olaf. Once again, early jungle action. Really like this series so far because these teams, they're here to fight, man.
Sjokz knows too. Considering invading the jungle, wondering if he can shut down Gilius. Wins out on the early 1v1. Too much sustain in the kit of Olaf.
Jiizuké, interesting with him already like level 3, ready to go top lane. In case anything happened, in case the junglers found each other. Oh, Cabochard.
Cabo has to be careful. Did not see the Olaf coming. Sjokz with the patience to come through. No CC going to connect with the bottom lane. We have to keep going. Trap not going to connect on the Promisq. A lot of damage goes through. Piltover Peacemaker goes wide. Promisq is going to walk out.
So everyone is alive, but a bunch of people just took some damage here. Shen was forced to flash and step back in. Oh, sorry, he used to flash eventually, but
Here's Sjokz. He lives here now.
he was forced to walk away after he TP'd in. And yeah, Sjokz really wants Smittyj to do well. This is kind of one of the win conditions for H2k when they draft this Camille for Smittyj and not a hyper carry for Sheriff. They need the top laner to win. Both guys lost their flashes. Sjokz kept his, and bot lane, Promisq did not have to flash. The trap sadly did not actually connect onto him. But it is a Fatality bottom lane winning early. Gilius is around mid, by the way. He's looking for another one. And Sjokz is top again.
I mean, playing a top side for Selfie as well, trying to avoid the early gank. And Sjokz just setting up home here, is going to back off. Of course, Cabo quite safe in the early laning phase before Camille has a lot of damage.
Oh.
Stun just keeps missing.
But it's because Cabochard also knows that he's the target. He steps really far back. If Sjokz is super annoying, he walks in and interrupts his recall.
Not going to do it. Of course, Cabo with no TP would maybe shut down some of the farming, but Smittyj doesn't quite have enough wave clear. Wants to try and freeze the lane. Won't get the opportunity either.
And we know that once we hit level 6 from Shen, it's all about either go mid lane with the ulti and make sure Jiizuké can win even harder, or go bot lane and tower dive H2k. There's bottom lane here. This Jhin is going to be squishy. Jiizuké trading.
For the 1v1, Twin Fangs connecting left and right. The flash to safety, but Predator has been burned. Jiizuké has to flash out. So just a flash for flash in the end. Jiizuké is so aggressive in the mid lane.
That's what we talk about with the Cassiopeia, though. Take it blind. Again, you can 1v1 basically everything in the early game, and these mana items are so effective on her. Get the early tiers, stack it up. The Archangel, once you get it, annoying to say it's not Archangel for some reason, but the Archangel,
the Angel of the Arch,
will be super effective for him, because that extra shield you're going to get later on in the game when it's fully stacked actually allows you to play more aggressive in fights than before, because the shield also gives you so much value.
And previously it was so awkward for Cassio to build the Tier of the Goddess, because old Archangels didn't really give you everything you needed. Morel Nomicon was just so much of a better item. But now you get everything from that single item that you could possibly want as a mid laner. Cooldown reduction, AP, and mana. So all the 3 things you require.
Selfie can do exactly the same. The build I've seen from him before is like tier, fully upgraded, get a Leandris, and then you suddenly have great damage. Also, the further we go into the game. And it's always the interesting thing about Orianna is if you land the Shockwave, you are an amazing late game carry. If you miss the Shockwave, you are really not that useful as a late game hyper carry.
Orianna is like the signature shotgun champion, right? You get one shot, if you hit it, you're a god, and you win the game instantly, right?
And it's just when it comes to being like the hyper carry you can rely on, because obviously just QW is actually a great burst damage from her, but seeing as she's gonna be the main late game damage source, the Shockwaves need to hit from Selfie to be the big carry.
Jactroll still posturing forward, kind of threatening. Take down the opposition here on the bottom side of the map, and Vitality setup just burned through this early tower with the slow, steady push that is Caitlyn. Minion Dematerializer, though, going to stop it for now.
As we have seen here, Gilius didn't find early kills this time around. Had some ganks, forced to flash top lane. Selfie has been able to try and just farm. Jiizuké has looked for a few trades against him. Bot lane again. Oh, nice hook.
Pulling it in, using the level 6 advantage. A lot of damage goes into on a Promisq, but he steals a little bit of AD from Jactroll. 90 caliber net to flash forward. The Q. Oh, built over Peacemaker, not quite going to connect, but the Gilius ulti will. First blood for Vitality. Jactroll running for his life. Sheriff wants to get a little bit of something back, but now he has to run. Good flash out. Takes him away from Jiizuké. One more Twin Bang, going to burn it down. Sjokz wants to fire back, but there's no chance.
Oh. Didn't want to walk out because Sjokz was there, but Cabochard had ulti ready to maybe try and help him. In the end, it is 2 kills for Vitality, however, and once again, it's about getting a strong bot lane matchup in the draft and play around the bottom lane, get them rolling. Minitroupax and Jactroll have done well 2v2, and it allows them to go bot lane and get kills. Turret is going to hit Jactroll here, he's pretty low.
This is such a struggle for H2k. They need Sheriff to do well. We've seen how much the team struggles when he, isn't set up for success, when he doesn't have those picks that he's comfortable on. You can see weeks 1 to 4, big struggle. When the team started to research, it was Sheriff at the forefront making things happen. So look at the deaths per game stats, looking a little rough already.
He was the main reason for H2k's comebacks in a lot of the games. Also why a lot of people looked at him as a potential rookie of the split. Of course, he's fighting against Jiizuké specifically. For that one, the votes, they are done. It's a regular season award, so what happens in this series does not matter for it. But it is still fun to see these two guys face each other here in the playoffs because they have been 2 of the best performing rookies so far. The hook connects from Jactroll, kind of predicting the potential juke. And while Minitroupax thinks he can go in, get hit, Q, Promisq does step around the turret. Vitality already here though. Push mid with Gilius and Jiizuké, roam bot, same strategy we saw last game. And sadly for Jiizuké, he's like, I don't think I can walk out here, but you could have definitely walked out.
I mean, he tried, walked into tower.
That's true.
Not quite. And
at least he can laugh.
This man is in a best of 5. If he loses this, he's just out. And he's having a good time. So as a reminder, LCS big plays. You guys can send in your highlights on Twitter at LO Esports with this hashtag EULCS. Maybe this is the big play right here. Not going to be because there's a cleanse. But let us know what you think it was. Maybe it's Gilius, or rather Jiizuké laughing.
I think Jiizuké laughing was a big play. I respect that. Good reaction from him. They're Vitality guys, by the way, when they walked on stage here after game 1. They look so ready to just smack H2k around again. Like, getting that first win is super important. The fact they got it in 26 minutes as well.
Hugely confident win, and now they're looking good. We've already got the Jiizuké special coming in. Deficio, we have it written down. We talked about it. Get mid push, roam top, but we cross that out and right bot, and we change Snowball Cabochard to Snowball Minitroupax.
Yep.
And we have a new Jiizuké special in this series.
As long as he pushes mid and roams, then Vitality can snowball whatever side lane they want. In this game here, it is just like last game. Top lane, they try and leave Cabo alone now. That means Sjokz can get some top lane control. Won't be able to get the Rift Hill because Gilius is on his way, and once again, Jiizuké is pushing that mid lane over and over.
But it's important to note top lane is a little bit rough right now, as a 30 CS deficit is coming in for Cabo. Being left on that island, not necessarily the best for the Shen. Really needs that Spirit's Refuge to stay safe against the Camille. So this is not without cost on the side of Vitality.
But look how they're moving the bottom lane. Instantly top to get Rift Hill. That's an adaptation from the last game. On the side of Vitality, a great early control on their side. And yes, it's such a top lane as behind in CS, but they cannot expect that to happen when they're not playing towards the Shen here. They don't care, because they need turrets. They need Minitroupax to be fed, and that's happening at the moment. Good start from him. Instantly go towards the top lane turret, get the Rift held on your side, and H2k need to try and get some gold back for themselves, but they're gonna just be a lot slower than Vitality.
Now Vitality, tempo advantage, as you said, keeping the ball rolling in this game. We know them to be a proficient team when it comes to snowballing, especially when it's about these first towers. Jiizuké, though, gonna have to give some respect over to Smittyj and Selfie. If he stays with that tower, he will be in jeopardy. And Sjokz and Promisq standing on a ward.
Good read, though, with that ward here from Vitality. Knowing they're all top side, have defensive wards on the bottom side so they can see a potential move against Jiizuké. Good planning, basically, from them. And Chef will eventually, he's a Jhin, take some time.
One more shot, does manage to get it, but that's the first tower for H2k. Traded for the second tower of Vitality. Will be a bit of a brief pause before Caitlyn manages to take this one down. One more auto will do it, and that is the 1.5k gold lead coming in for Vitality 12 minutes into the game.
And let's see if Vitality can use Rift Hell to get that mid lane turret down. Block all of the turrets on the map. Jiizuké and the rest of the team was once again able to get the early goal lead. And it's not about Sheriff on H2k's side just yet. It is really about Smittyj specifically on this Camille, but they didn't get any early kills. this time around.
Trying to build an advantage for him.
He's all alone in here, by the way.
Getting aggressive with the play, just wants to take the red buff away, thinks better of it, does not want to take the risk, does not have enough vision of the Vitality members, although he will now see that the bottom lane has taken up their home in the mid lane, looking to take down one last tier 2, extend that gold lane as much as possible with these early objectives.
They're gonna need multiple people here from H2k to defend. As long as Selfie can get close enough to the wave, he can kill it fast. If he ever gets zoned away from it, because we get Vitality moving in with 4 players plus a potential Shen ulti, then suddenly they can put down the Rift Herald and get the turret. So it's still stalling time for H2k. We talk about Smittyj, but then Selfie's the other one. We mentioned it earlier with the Orianna. Land that big shockwave in the late game. Insane damage. Able to carry team fights. And Selfie has been very good in fights, especially on things like Orianna so far in the game. But it's going to take some time before he can actually be the big carry. And Gilius, just the Vitality around the mid lane.
Waiting, hoping that Sheriff and Promisq will get just a little bit aggressive and immediately get punished. Minitroupax definitely some tasty bait, but they're not going to take it. Now Vitality continue to try to control mid. Gilius hanging out here, making sure the team is safe to keep pushing, but Camille has bottom pressure.
So there's one lane pushing for H2k, but there will be 2 lanes pushing for Vitality at all time. Mid lane with the duo setup of Minitroupax and Jactroll, and then top lane when Jiizuké walks up there as one of the strongest members on the map. This will be a wave dying, and then they're trying to again save this turret for as long as possible.
Killer comes in, Miasma makes sure that they cannot use any dashes, so none of the champions have any. Curtain Call comes out, dissuading Vitality from going any further, means the mid lane tower is not going to die. A lot of ultimate cooldowns burned, or rather just the one from Sheriff, but mid lane tower doesn't drop quite yet.
Every Jhin main at home just started crying, seeing that damage from Jin's ult in the early game. Barely doing anything.
A little unfortunate. No low health bars, it turns out, if you don't start the fight with something else.
It's true, it was used to the zone, but still, sometimes you want an ult to at least deal damage.
It tickled. It got them off the tower. Deficio, it did what it was supposed to do.
It's true.
At least for now. Probably going to hope it does a little bit more damage to get some more items under his belt. Only the Essence Reaver to the Static Shiv, BF Sword on the side of Minitroupax.
And it's rough now because whenever Jiizuké goes top lane, he pushes and he can roam to mid and keep applying pressure. And Selfie will have to just catch the waves, meaning there will always be a member missing in mid lane for H2k if Jiizuké gets to roam. And it's going to happen because they can't really 1v1 this Cassiopeia. They also know there's Shen ult. And Smittyj, while he's definitely going to win the 1v1 on bottom side, can he actually get a second turret for his team? He needs to overextend for it. As Vitality are winning the mid lane, they can roam first to the side lane. It becomes really difficult for Smittyj to carry.
Absolutely. Now I'm curious to see how confident H2k can play when they do not have information where Jiizuké is. We saw some big moments where H2k thought they had the collapse where the execution faltered. Can they find those moments and execute better in this game, I believe is the big question.
Gilius is around. There is, of course, cleanse on Selfie. They see him now. This means just Vitality can push top and then go mid, try and see if they can claim this very low turret.
Smittyj backing off, potentially in trouble.
Now, but Cabochard just needs to buy more time.
Stun going in. He's going to dash out. Smittyj not going to use the Hextech Ultimatum. Adaptive Defense's cooldown not available as well, so Vitality have complete control of the top side.
Here we see the play. Push top, roam mid. Try and force Sheriff back so he can't kill the wave and secure that last outer turret. It is so low at this point.
Trying to push through. Caitlyn now pushing up. Of course, Vitality looking to continue snowballing their lead. About 2k right now. Will turn into about 3k as the tower falls. 4 traps making it quite difficult for H2k to get anything done here. No Jhin ult this time to save the tower. Wants to save the cooldown.
And we get the same kind of game where early game Vitality now needs to be against the late game of H2k. They have to be able to stall this game, get Selfie into a point where he can carry team fights, get Sheriff to 3 items, because with this build, Essence Reaver here for himself, he needs to get upgraded Zeal item and then the Eye Edge before he can actually become a big threat against some of these tanks. It is always tough for Jhin, but luckily there's a Trundle ulti to make it a little bit more effective with the Jhin when it comes to killing a Shen or killing a Sejuani, but it's not going to be easy for him. And they have lost all outer turrets. They're going to get pushed far back on the map because we can just say it again. Mid lane and top lane will always push in favor of Vitality. And that makes suddenly the Baron setup a lot easier because you have full access to the river if you are Vitality.
exactly what they want. We see the next Drake spawning is a Cloud, 47 seconds out. H2k have the vision necessary to take it if they want. Good teamfight strength as well. Maybe this is their chance to find an opportunity as they continue to push in for deeper vision. They're up on a Jactroll. He's going to use the ultimate to pull him back. Jhin ultimate available. Not going to fire in the end. So Selfie giving up that Orianna ultimate may make it difficult for them to contest the Dragon. For now, though, they're contesting the red buff. Jiizuké is here. Gilius is going to take it away. So H2k not getting anything in that play. Now, I mean, Cloud Drake next objective. Baron about 2 minutes out. H2k trying to take control of mid. They are putting a lot of pressure here, but it means Shen gets to free farm on the top side in the meantime. And of course, has 2 globals available to join.
Caitlyn just went back. The Drake is spawning now, so it looks like H2k can just grab it for free. Vitality okay with giving that one up, even though it technically is an objective they could fight for at this point in the game. But will be handed over to H2k, and someone has to go back and respond to this top lane wave.
Gilius moving in, starting to bully, stopping Selfie's back. Sjokz will manage to grab the Cloud Drake, make it a little bit easier for him to close the gap in these fights, but have to see what Vitality can get in return. They now have the tempo advantage.
Yeah, they can just push in mid and top as we've just seen. Once again, but there's no Baron to instantly move towards and threaten, which means H2k should be able to just go back, return to lanes, and then push them right back. And we get a little bit of a slow moment in the game where it's all about just catching waves, pushing them back out, and wait for Baron to spawn. And then suddenly, Vitality have another big objective they can play around.
I don't know what that sound is.
I'm not sure. Must be the Caitlyn skin.
There you go. Pulse fire Caitlyn. Keep it alive. And this is the point in the game where maybe there's an opportunity, but Vitality are just playing so patiently and so slowly, and I feel like it's not even a bad option for them, because when we look at late game, it doesn't really feel like there's no Varus here this time. There's the Caitlyn if Vitality do want to take the late game.
Yeah, they definitely have good scaling on the Vitality side. It is by no means a guaranteed win for H2k when they go late game. Again, it's not Sheriff on a hyper carry, so H2k will still have to kind of execute the late game fights properly. And that's why Vitality are not necessarily in a huge hurry to do something. Now they can play top side again, because Jiizuké is super strong 1v1. And he should be able to push in this wave, and then either get damage on top lane tier 2, or just threaten around Baron. Cassiopeia, one of the greatest mid laners when it comes to burning down this big objective. And H2k will just keep trying to stall around it and hope they can create a pick and stop Vitality from getting early Baron. Because last game, they walked into a bad fight. They got punished. They lost the Baron way earlier than they were supposed to. And that effectively allowed Vitality to close out the game.
And up until that hook came through, it felt like H2k were actually playing quite well, and that's the execution problems we talked about. Posturing with a little bit of confidence. They are quite far back in their jungle, though. Vitality with clear control over the vast majority of the map at this point in the game. Outside of the bottom lane, where Smittyj keeps pushing in, but it just hasn't amounted to much yet.
He's not at the point where you can just, like, tower dive to Shen, if he ever gets to that point in this game. So we're always just kind of waiting for a play to happen topside.
Ulti goes in and goes wide. Jactroll walks forward, walks over the ball, though. Risky choice. Throws the hook, connects onto Sjokz. It's just going to use the ultimate to walk it out. So that is one ult cooldown burned.
And it's a fight over vision all the time. Get a bit of damage on the turrets. Top and mid lane every time. Just poke them down. Eventually you get far enough into this game that Jiizuké gets his death cap. He can walk to Baron with just Gilius, and they can two-man down the Baron. And then suddenly H2k might not be able to react in time.
Selfie has to be very careful. 60% health, the Petrifying Gaze connects. Will immediately have to burn the cleanse, may even have to flash it out to safety. Luckily for them, though, Jhin has enough wave clear to stop Vitality from chipping away at the towers the way they did earlier in the game.
Oh, Gilius is in the Baron pit. Look at, remember the two-man Baron we just mentioned? It is instead a solo Rift Herald. Not a Rift Herald, a Rift Scuttle.
Ah, the infamous one-man Rift Scuttle.
Also requires skill. It can actually dodge your skill shots. Very annoying.
Frequently does, yes. Very embarrassing. Getting PvE'd in League of Legends.
Okay, death cap is here now. Ton of damage coming from Jiizuké's side. H2k have not allowed him to get into a fight. It's been a much more of like a slow mid-game. Everyone's just pushing, and then H2k receives the wave and push it back. And Vitality is saying, guys, now we can actually kill Baron very quickly. That's going to be our next objective.
Smittyj, though, keeps the pressure up on the bottom side. Looks like he might be going for the Ravenous second. I'm going to go for that for any other itemization. Smittyj, though, definitely winning out on these trades. It looks like it's slowly getting worse for Cabo as time goes on, but this is quite a long timer for H2k to play around. He's going to need at least a few more items and a few more levels before he really has that kill pressure.
Oh, let's see top lane. Jactroll is on his way. Shen ulti is ready.
Hook is there. Selfie could be the member to get caught out. The flash forward. Hook going to go in. Selfie flash is not going to connect. Getting the summoner spell from Selfie there, though. Still has the cleanse. Still can play with a bit of confidence.
That's a big cooldown, making it a little bit harder for Selfie now to navigate around on top side. If he gets jumped, he goes down. Smittyj gets bot lane turret for himself. We'll keep trying to push for more turrets on the bottom side, and Vitality, their play again is either you got to play around an objective here and force a fight with your insanely strong Cassiopeia.
Yeah, that Static Shiv Infinity Edge crit, though. A couple more of those land from Minitroupax. Sheriff won't even get to see a fight, although it is 2.5 items in now.
We might just get the Infernal Drake being the next objective, and then Baron after that. Jiizuké still top lane, hoping Selfie walks forward.
Right there, snake in the grass. Not going to find him. Selfie playing with a lot of caution, tries to throw a ward up the wall. Of course, control ward is there, spots it out. Jiizuké going to play to protect that one as Vitality once again returned to the top side. Willing to go for these more aggressive plays. Selfie has to retreat into his own jungle, cannot win out in these 1v1s. The death cap from Jiizuké, just so much raw damage coming in.
But if Vitality do not make play top lane here, or swap down to the Drake, then Smittyj is just going to solo the Infernal Drake when we see everyone else busy up here on the top side. But it's all in Vitality's power to actually grab the Drake, reset the map, and then go top side again.
And you can see the slower kind of game seems to be much more H2K's pace. Not giving up any major advantages. Yes, it's still a rough game, but they have 2 dragons, but going much more toe-to-toe.
Two-man Baron. We talked about this already. Sejuani and Cassiopeia starting it, and right now H2K are not instantly reacting because they still see people wave clearing. They're pinging it. They're on their way. Vitality then realize, okay, they saw it, step away.
No Warmarks for Sejuani. She will try to heal up a little bit. Infernal Drake could be started now. Vitality just transitioning over to that. H2K with a small window.
Smittyj should know that now it's Vitality going bottom side with the Drake. Needs to be careful he doesn't actually stay around and get ganked. But for now, it's just about killing Infernal.
Bit of a tough situation. Your first 2 Drakes are Mountain and Cloud. Mountain nice to have. Well, Cloud a little arguable. Vitality go for Dragons. They're only allowed to get Infernals in this series. Has been decreed as that is their 4th one. But Sheriff continues to keep the pressure up. Not Sheriff, rather Smittyj. You can see Cabo just really relying on the tower to deal damage in this lane as he does not do much.
This is Smittyj in his element. In Challenger Series, every game he could play a carry, he would just sit in that side lane forever and just keep split pushing. It is annoying to deal with if you can't force a play on the other side of the map, and Vitality have not been able to. We haven't seen a potential tower dive. We haven't seen them actually fully commit to the Baron yet. They had a quick peek towards it before, and then stopped the moment H2K reacted. Oh,
not going to find the opportunity. We already just saw moments ago Gilius throwing out the ult. He's tried 3 times now to find the pick. Has not found the connect. It's bottom lane, we may see a duel.
But it's important now that Vitality do not start skipping steps. That was the problem the last few weeks. I had a chat to Yamada Cannon as well, and he was mentioning how, yeah, they got impatient when they had to play around Barons. They said, you know what, let's just force a fight instead of pushing out lanes first, or instead of getting control wards down. And then the enemy teams got a lot of chances to get back in the game. So it's important Vitality stick to their game plan here. Push mid and top, get control wards in the Baron River, and then keep baiting around it. And eventually you either get a pick or you get the Baron itself. And that's your reward for it. But Jiizuké now and Vitality didn't need to get rid of this ward outside that teams always place.
Such a good ward.
It always gets placed here. You got to sweep outside or put a control ward outside as well.
They are spotted by the Scuttle Crab, though.
They might be able to rush it down, though. They are fast with Cassiopeia.
They've seen Cabochard, or not Cabochard, Smittyj has backed. Orianna over the wall. We've seen so many Oriannas steal Barons in Europe. Is this another one to follow down? Flash over from Joko. They want to clean this one up. Can they actually get it? Will they give it away? Yes! Get it! H2k get it! Vitality! Oh, that is not what they needed.
The worst part is you could see the rest of Vitality stepped away from Baron. Oh, he gets a kill. Welcome to the last few weeks of Vitality and them having issues around Baron. Last game didn't matter because they got a fight. They won the fight, took the Baron. Gilius, he called, step away. Guys, don't risk the 50-50. But they got the Baron so low that when Sjokz flashed in, they could actually get it down. And then Sjokz wins this
And you gotta feel for Gilius because it's not his fault, but that is the 6th Baron stolen away from him this season.
And now we get the H2k stalling. Stalling. The Baron here is going to buy them more time to farm towards the late game. We talked about 3 items on Sheriff. It's here right now. So, look at a call from Vitality saying, okay, hey, they're here, guys. Go back. Don't finish it. But Jiizuké keeps dealing damage to it, and Gilius has already left. He's like, no, guys, I don't want the 50-50.
Oh, no. They do manage to take down Sjokz. Poor Jactroll. He's going to back.
The same ward.
This is the greatest ward of this series, folks. The little ward that could.
They knew that the Rift Scuttler was there, so they obviously realized they were spotted. But there was still a chance they could kill it fast enough with Cassiopeia. But H2k rush in. And then they get it.
Deficio, we talk about Vitality skipping steps. Is this Vitality skipping steps what actually
I definitely think they could have waited for Rift Scuttler to fully disappear and then always place a control ward or sweep outside the Baron pit for that pesky ward around the corner. And then if they go for this play, where it's not spotted instantly, it's harder for H2k to react. Good.
Sheriff.
Engage.
Ulti traded for the cleanse there. It'll be a favorable cooldown advantage for Gilius moving forward.
So they have to remember that Vitality's 2-carry setup is fantastic. They have good scaling, they're very strong at this point, so H2k are not randomly just going to win the game off of this Baron steal. They still have to execute a bunch of late-game fights. But all they had to do was stall, because they couldn't actually do anything before this Baron.
Shot wall dive coming in, H2k posturing around the top side. They're ready to play around Smittyj. He is quite strong. 2.5 items in. Miller goes in onto Gilius. Minitroupax backing off.
Bot lane and Cabochard is pushing. This is good, at least for Vitality. Wait the Baron buff out. Smittyj gets a fight.
Jiizuké trying to make his way out. He's not going to catch the stun. Smittyj moving in. He wants a little bit more. He will take down Jiizuké. Now running out with the hook shot wall dive. Exactly what H2k needs, because now they're moving in on the mid lane. Out comes the curtain call. Body block there from Gilius, but all the pressure in favor of H2k.
And Smittyj has been farming for 30 minutes. And he finally gets a fight. And he takes down the Cassiopeia. Now, bit of a trade with Cabochard, but also with the lifesteal on this Camille here. Cabochard can't do anything. Mid lane tower goes down. H2k with the goal lead.
Exactly what H2k needed, a momentum shift in their favor. The individual prowess from Smittyj finally showing itself. We wanted to know why they were playing around Smittyj, why they weren't giving Sheriff the carries. Well, if the Camille gets late enough and they're not losing the game, it looks like a powerful pick here for H2k.
It's what they wanted last game, but failed the execution. This game, they had to rely on Vitality not getting an early Baron. They did prevent it with good vision. And when the Baron got started, that same problem that's been haunting Vitality for the last few weeks has happened again. Smittyj gets his 1v1. It's all about him dodging the ulti. Sees it, doesn't connect, and Jiizuké cannot get away.
Good flash forward on the tactical sweep as well. Well played by Smittyj and Deficio. H2k with the gold lead at 30 minutes. This is the 5th time this has happened. The 4 other times, all wins. Is this the 5th win here? Vitality, can they find a way back in the game? Because H2k playing with a lot more confidence now that they're no longer in a deficit.
And Sheriff has gotten all the late game items he needs. Ton of crit on his side, great AD scaling. They're looking for a fight around mid. Minitroupax is very strong on this on this Caitlyn here.
Cassio also quite strong.
Also very strong. Listen, both of them are strong. Mountain Drake, H2k, grab that one for themselves, and all of Vitality kind of trying to figure out, okay, what's the next step now? We had it all planned out. Control top side, get the Baron, take down the outer turrets, shut down H2k before they get to the late game. It was all there, it was ready. Now you gotta adapt. Now you gotta be able to execute a big late game team fight against H2k.
And you have to be able to get a late game team fight, because look at Smittyj, 3 items, now finishing the Sterix cage.
That's why you really want to fight if you're Vitality, and H2k, you're fine playing the split push game.
Better hope those headshots hit home for Minitroupax. Jhin trying to move in. Smittyj now on the bottom side. Just cutting through the tower immediately. Out comes the curtain call. It's going to get pulled back. Cabo, ulti does go down. Smittyj locked up, but Jactroll not going to find the hook. This is not good for the side of Vitality. H2k playing with so much confidence. Selfie now backing out. Jiizuké moving forward. Ulti not going to connect. There's the shockwave. It might be exactly what H2k need. But Minitroupax is firing back. Jiizuké now running for his life. Has the Seraphs to keep him safe. Needs to back off. 3 shots left from Seraph's pool. Not going to fire forward anymore. H2k happy with just the inhibitor.
All right, so Vitality did manage to get a kill back here despite losing Shen early. Had they lost that fight, it might have been the game, but good moves around from the Vitality team. Jactroll sees Selfie. Nope, not in time.
Not gonna find it.
Though, 4,000 gold from this Baron here. Let's see the play again. This is move bot lane. Jiizuké's top, so there's no way Vitality can actually defend. And nice snare from Sheriff into them. Smittyj following with the old secure the kill. Dodge run, and here, Vitality taking this fight. If they lose this, it's proper game. But the fact that actually they managed to win it after they get Smittyj down and Jiizuké kind of dances around early, deals a ton of damage, and then steps out just in time before he dies, means they can actually still stall the game.
And you can see Cassio may be able to 1v1 the Jhin, but cannot 2v1 the carry duo on the side of H2k, and that's not even including Smittyj in the equation. He's got the stopwatch as well, so in terms of execution, it just gets easier for H2k moving forward.
Now it's all about the next Baron. TP is ready for Smittyj, so he can go bot lane again. Remember, he might actually try and finish the game. If Cabochard is forced to TP into the Baron, because there's a fight happening.
Trinity Force and Sterix Gauge, you cut through towers.
Yeah, you destroyed
3 abilities, 4 maybe.
And you're gonna have the super minions as well from the bottom lane. So Smittyj will be this kind of threat that could actually take down the last 3 turrets. And Vitality, they know this.
Minitroupax has been caught out, is now running for his life. He will get cut down, no sidestep. Can he make it out to safety? Not enough. H2k now in control of the Baron area. Smittyj pushing in on the bottom side. This is exactly what they wanted.
Pushing down mid lane for now, but Baron is the one they're pinging towards Smittyj. Needs to remember that he's alone against a lot of Vitality members. He has to back away.
And leap out, hookshot wall dive, taking the attention off him, but the Baron has been brought up. Smittyj, what can he do here? Now trying to run.
He's buying time.
Golden for a brief moment. The CZ now going to come through as they are going to be able to cut him down. Baron in the sights. Gilius, this is a chance for redemption. Can he steal this one back? Wants to make it over the wall. Doesn't make it over the wall. Beautiful pillar comes in from Promisq. Looks like it is going to be enough to secure it in the end. H2k get it. Gilius now running for his life. Fancy footwork, not going to come through. Sheriff knocks him dead.
H2k secure a pick in the mid lane. A big, big play on their side. Yes, they lose the top laner, but they get the Baron. They're now set up to try and get down the last few inhibs. I don't think the Nexus turret took any damage before. No, it's still full HP. Vitality will have to hold on in their own base. Flash is going to be ready for Minitroupax now. None for Jiizuké. Pillar behind Jiizuké. He's not getting out unless there's a Lancer from Jactroll. And then needs to be there instantly. Otherwise, that shockwave is going to connect.
So hard to play now. So much good zone control comes in now from H2k. Power of the Trundle support in full operation. If Shen comes into this fight, immediately the stats are going to be gone.
And again, with this build from Sheriff here, the advantage is the scaling of it is actually strong. He's on 800 AD at the moment. So if he gets that 4th shot and he smacks it onto a squishy, that is a ton of damage.
Jactroll. So close. Nice sidestep comes in from Sheriff to keep it together. Vitality really fishing for these opportunities. Jactroll willing to burn the flash.
Top lane wave is not in position yet. Smittyj does have TP, but it's still the long channel time if Vitality can land and engage. Cleanse is down from Sheriff. Taunt flash from Cabochard is available. Could be a way for them to start a fight.
Have to respect the shockwave though. Eyes on the ball.
But
right
now Smittyj's coming. He's coming. He's gonna get the last out of turret.
Gilius wants to keep the fight going. Pulling back. Hook does manage to connect. The team retreats. Camille set to take down the tier 2 in the meantime. Vitality getting pressured out here.
I'm still gonna call out this taunt flash potential from Cabochard onto Sheriff here. They can try and burn him down very quickly.
Looking for it. Smittyj though on the backside immediately onto Jiizuké. He needs to find a way out. He needs to connect the stun. It is not going to land. Now has to back off. Locked up. Smittyj could be in trouble, but no, it is Gilius taken down. Crit comes in from Sheriff. 800 damage. Absolutely massive. Mid lane inhibitor is going to fall. Top lane tower as well. This is massive for H2k.
We'll get the last one top lane. Got super minions coming bot already, another kill.
Minitroupax trying to do what damage he can, but it's not working out. Hitting home onto Sjokz. The taunt does manage to come in. They are going to try to cut through Promisq, but the shield is there. He is burning down in the meantime. Jiizuké looking for the fight with Sheriff. Backing off. Snare is going to get body blocked there by Cabochard, but Vitality holding on just so barely.
1 minute on the Baron buff. They still got minions here. 5 members alive on the side of H2k. Gilius dead and Jactroll.
Jiizuké and Minitroupax are alive. Selfie with no ultimate. Holding on. Baron buff still there for a minute. Cabo taking so much damage in the meantime. Sjokz free hitting onto the towers. Sheriff absolutely cutting them down. The last hold comes in from Vitality. H2k should be able to take it here, but Jiizuké is off to the side. He's looking to make a play. Smittyj running for his life. Sterix going to keep him alive for now. TP coming on the backside. Cabo looking for the flank. Selfie could be in trouble. Flash still available from Cabochard.
Turrets are still alive. They actually managed to stall here and push H2k away. They're so low. It's one hit from a champion and they're down, but Second time we get to see H2k pushing around the Nexus turrets. Second time they don't manage to actually kill them. But Inib just respawned. Elder Drake for H2k. Sheriff is playing so well in the last fights here. He's confident. He knows his damage is crazy. Look at the crit onto that squishy. That's what 800 AD will do for Jhin in the late game, and this crit build he's going for. Full items now on his side. I can't actually believe that the first two games have so clearly demonstrated the strengths and weaknesses of both teams. Game 1, Vitality outplaying H2k in the early game, and then Vitality getting that early Baron to finish the game, and H2k look lost. Game 2, Vitality once again wins the early game, as expected, but then struggle around the first Baron. They lose it, and it's H2k's late game, where they so rarely will make mistakes. We've seen both things, and it looks like it's going to be such a close series between the two teams. We got to see if H2k can finish this. My prediction is yes, but I've seen bigger throws.
And we've seen huge individual outplays from the side of Vitality to bring home wins. We've seen Minitroupax on the back door. We've seen beautiful engages from Jiizuké. Their back is absolutely against the wall. H2k with the edge here. Can just look to close it out, does connect on to Sheriff, gets the cleanse early on. Gilius has to run though. No longer is he a tank. Curtain call comes in, body block is there from Sjokz. Minitroupax needs to make it out to safety, but Smittyj is on the top side and he is uncontested. Just not able to take down the tower.
Oh, Gilius just stayed alive by the flash there.
So low, Selfie, the hook connects, but the cleanses are there. They can't find the engage. Jiizuké needs to run. Flashes back, Smittyj now trying to back off. Cabo is buying as much time as he can. In the meantime, Smittyj looks like he will get taken down. Fires back, but the GA is there. Selfie coming in clutch. Jiizuké and Minitroupax versus the world. Sheriff gets the reload. He gets the one shot. He's just gonna look to end the game. Double for Minitroupax. He's not gonna get the chance. Burned down by Promisq, and H2k find the win in game 2.
And this smells like a series that will go to 5 games. One for Vitality now, one for H2k. Late game versus early game once again, and this time H2k managed to stall, and they did not give Vitality that fight around the first Baron that they did in the first game. That was the biggest change when we look at this.
And they waited for a mistake, they waited for an opportunity, and they found it. When Vitality had the split call around Baron, H2k were there to collapse. Shook as an Olaf flashes over the wall for the steal. He sees the opportunity, he takes it, he makes it work. And once this team has a lead, we've seen it at 30 minutes, 5-5 for wins when they have a lead.
But I still like the Vitality game plan. I love the idea of drafting around a super strong bot lane, try and see if you can shut down Sheriff in the early game, because it's been working. It's worked twice now. When we look at early on, Jiizuké is able to roam from his lane, Gilius is active in the early game, and Minitroupax gets the lead. They did everything they should in the early game when it comes to getting down these early turrets. But then that play around Baron is where it falls apart, because we said this multiple times, like, they don't have to go 5-man Baron, 2-man Baron with Cassiopeia. Wait for the Rift Scuttler to disappear.
Got to clean it up. Individual mistakes count against Vitality. Well, for a closer look at H2k's win, let's head over to the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, guys. H2k is right back in there. They even up the series and keep their dreams of Copenhagen alive. And what a game it was. Yes, yada, yada, yada. Great early game again from Vitality. But we want to jump straight into the Baron steal that turned the game, as I have two fantastic junglers by my side. We're going to take a look because once again, Gilius gets his Baron stolen. Who wants to weigh in here? What happens? What goes wrong?
You want to take it?
Yeah, I can take it. I think here you can see that it's going to be a 50-50 situation if Cassiopeia keep eating the natural, and Sjokz actually did some things that I would have never went for it. He flashed over the wall and hoped that this team will burst the Nash and actually get it, and I think this is really incredible.
Let's see how it plays out. Great stuff by Sjokz.
This is also where we see the difference in the confidence in the 50-50 Baron Smite battle, and I think right here Sjokz kind of had the mental edge, and in these kind of situations, it's just down to whoever is. Some people will say they're more lucky. Some people will say they're better. I'm not going to be judging on that one, but really good play by H2k.
Well, but we can bring in some numbers if you talk about luck or 50-50 or whatever. But this is now the 6th Baron that was stolen from Vitality and Gilius. This split, they topped the leaderboards. That's the most out of any team. So, Djoko, this mental element, is that why this keeps happening now?
Yeah, I think right now we can see on this game that they are liking about natural setups, and every time Momento get the Nash, like almost everybody got the Nash, and I don't know what is wrong with Gilius, because I think he's enough confident on himself for taking it, but I don't know, something must be wrong.
Well, because for the rest of the game, we said, well, Gilius is doing well early, Gilius' pathing is good, but this kind of sucks if you then give the game away in this way.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's not as much about like the 50-50 Baron. It's more about the setup for me, because the crucial part about the setup was that they actually missed a ward that showed that Vitality was starting the Baron. And that kind of just screws with how you want to do it, because you want to kind of sneak it with the Casio and the Sejuani, but H2k always kept up like a ward around the area so they could see when they started it. And then then it becomes 50-50, because then you can just move to the Baron and try to steal it. So I think try to focus on setting up better rather than thinking about can you beat the 50-50, blah, 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 you know.
Well, and now we got to turn it on the side of H2k. They were with their backs against the wall, almost going to lose another game in the series. Djoko and Sjokz has the presence of mind to jump in, have his team burst the Baron, and then it was really nice how H2k just took control and took over the game.
Yeah, once they have the Nashor, they went for the setup, sieging tower, and they commit into them fight, and it's worked out pretty good for them. They didn't hesitate of wasting their Nash, and at the moment that they did it, they just go and then snowball the game, and they close out.
They did, and this guy here on the screen, Sheriff, the guy we were looking at, it almost seems like he's shaken off the game one jitters, the entire team, and this is where we feel comfortable. We take that Baron, we're going towards the late game, we know we can do this.
Yeah, but I would say though that again, Vitality had the momentum in the game. They played well in the early game. They got the first tower bottom. They snowballed well. They had, I think, 4k gold lead. And you just need to close out the game. And this is why we criticize Vitality for not being able to do it properly, because they're not reliable in this. Like one game, the first game, they do it super well. Next game, they're not doing it correctly. So we will just have to see how it develops. I think this is this series that I wanted to see, where it's very back and forth, and it's super exciting to watch.
Yeah, it almost seems like the teams are even closer together after watching that last game. Is there anyone who surprised you that we haven't talked about yet, Djoko?
I think Jactroll, with this Thresh, is actually putting a lot of pressure on lanes, and like he's grabbing everybody, and it's unlocking the game. And I think this guy is actually pretty good. And for maybe H2k should think about remove this champ out of this stance.
Thresh banned out. I also think Smittyj is someone that we don't often talk about, but had a great Camille.
Yeah, he was set up pretty well by Sjokz in the early game. I think Sjokz on the Olaf hasn't really looked super good. I would probably recommend H2k by maybe turning more to the Sejuani, for example. It has been a better pick for him throughout the season. Other than that, I agree a lot with Djoko. Remove the Thresh. This is a clear win condition for Vitality in the early game, and I think without Thresh, they can't get as big of a lead in the early game.
All right, Thresh should be banned out. We'll see what happens in Game 3, and remember, the teams are fighting to get to the finals in Copenhagen. And before we go to break, Cloud9 Svenskeren tells us more about what it means to have this event in Denmark.
Så jeg synes det er rigtig fedt, at der endelig er et VIT event i Danmark. Jeg tror ikke, det har været et officielt VIT event før. Jeg er ikke helt sikker, men jeg vil ønske, at jeg har spillet i EU, så jeg kunne deltage.